everybody. Glad you're with us here. Welcome to the Evolution Center here at lightworker.com. Tonight, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to talk a little bit about the second wave of empowerment. If you've been around Lightworker or you've received been on the website or anything else, you've probably seen those words, even though you may not be aware of it. The reason is because we hide those words a lot on the page. It's kind of a fun little thing. You can find them actually hidden in several of the logos in different places throughout the web page. Not only on the web page, but also you will find the words second wave on every book cover that I have. And not the ones that are translated, because a lot of people did not pick up the theme, but I have basically put in the word second wave somewhere in the background on every book cover that we have. And the reason is very simple. The group wanted me to bring out the word second wave. They wanted us to understand what that is and what is really taking place right now, because it's incredibly beautiful what's taking place on this planet. We've had some challenges with it, of course, and there's other people that have come out with a third and fourth and fifth wave now. But it's not about spiritual competition. We just simply want to share with you what they said and why we're moving into all this and what it means to us on a practical basis. So let me share with you just a little bit about this, because the second wave of empowerment was very critical. They said that on planet Earth, we have been in the first wave of empowerment for a very long time. And the way to become empowered for a very long time was very simple. You found someone else who was empowered, and you learned how to do what they did, and you became empowered yourself. And it's called follow the leader. And it worked really, really well on this planet for a very long time, until we started evolving until recently. And recently what happened is there's a whole series of events that have taken place on planet Earth, actually around the death of Adolf Hitler. Because what happened is when Adolf Hitler left the planet, it marked a very critical time where we no longer have to give our power away to other humans. And it marked the entrance of the second wave of empowerment. The first wave of empowerment is follow the leader. The second wave of empowerment is follow yourself. It is much more difficult to follow yourself than it is to follow the leader. And we all have challenges with it anyway, but now what's happening is, because of the fact that all humans are starting to evolve everywhere very quickly, we're all starting to experience very similar challenges with this process. Many of you out here that we speak to, many of what we call lightworkers on this planet, are healers and teachers in some way. You're very active. You're out there probably doing the work a lot more than some of your counterparts are. And you're more interested in the purposeful evolution, not only of yourselves, but of the planet and what's going on. So there's a lot here that we want to share with you, too, because it changes this paradigm as well. Well, now what we are starting to do is we're starting to look for ways that we can empower everyone and everything around us. And that brings in the Age of E, which is the Age of Empowerment. That's the title of the book I've been working on. And I have out soon. Of course, I've been saying that for a year. But nonetheless, the Age of Empowerment is all about how do we not only empower ourselves, but everyone around us. How do we build a society of empowered people? That's what we're working on. And that's the piece that each one of us has a part of, and each one of us can play into, and we can use. And that's really what is birthed in the Age of Empowerment, which started back when Adolf Hitler left the planet. And we've been building and building and building into it. Now we're stepping into it, not only so much that we are becoming empowered, but our physical bodies are starting to change so that we can carry more light, so that we can actually adapt and handle this energy and the things that we've taken on to do. So these are part of what we've been looking at and part of what we've been working at to show you some of the possibilities of the second wave of empowerment. Now let me also address what changes with the word teacher, because that's an interesting process. Our teachers have always been people that we value as masters, or people that have mastered something that turn around and teach us. And it even changes that paradigm a little bit, the group says. Because what we do is we have typically given our power away to teachers. And that's no longer appropriate. That's where a lot of challenges have come in. This is where a lot of cults have gotten into trouble. They've taken their power of their people rather than teach them not only how to not give their power, but how to live in empowerment while they're doing it. How to change not only themselves, but everything around them. So this has gone on and on and on. This is why we don't look for followers here at Lightworker. We look for people that we can help along the path or give a little push to, sometimes a little boot in the butt, to kind of get you going. But whatever the case, that's how we like to work with it. So let me change cameras here because I want to share with you just a little bit more about what we're going to do here with this and how this works. Part of what you're seeing is a real change on the planet in a lot of different ways. And part of what is taking place is the group actually gave a message about God back, it was a few years ago, but it was called, and of course it's still up there in the Beacons of Light, it was called God with a little G. And it was a beautiful message about how the fact that we put God on a pedestal. We put God out of reach of us. We cannot relate to God. We cannot think of him as an all-powerful, all-being, all-seeing person, being of some magnitude that we can't even comprehend. So it becomes really challenging. The group says, now that you're evolving, now that you are raising your vibration, getting closer to home, you need to get a more personal relationship with what you call God, in whatever form that takes. Whether it's your own energy, which is what the group talks about, or whether you reflect it through something else, whether that be a religion or whether that be a belief system of any kind, or whatever higher power you put your focus into is a reflection of your own. That's the beauty of it. So this is what we're learning. We're learning how to not give our power away to other people or other beings, to not follow everything, to learn the art of discernment. And we've actually done one of these segments on discernment. Discernment's the art of learning to feel, to connect, and to evaluate without the judgment that we've always used in the past of calling things black or white, to look at things from a higher perspective in a different way and discern only the positive pieces for yourself. There's a lot of different pieces and tools that we have now that will work in an empowered society that would never work before. You're seeing businesses starting to change too. And if you think you're starting to see them now, hang on, because this is going to really get good over the next few years. A lot of businesses are going to start shifting. Some of them are going to be forced into it, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. And basically, you're seeing a wave of empowerment coming on this planet, and what is not capable of bending and flexing and moving with this wave will fall apart, will disintegrate, will have cracks and tears, and start to disintegrate like we would normally expect. And that's starting to happen with some of our economic systems, our businesses. You're going to see actually a little bit more of it. And this is not about economics on this one. This is about the second wave of empowerment. But because of that, we are basically moving into the age of empowerment, ready or not. And those things that can make that move, that can take the empowerment. What is the greatest thing you can do if you own a business? You can empower your people. You can empower your suppliers. What if you have a small business? Only one person works with you. You can empower all the people you deal with. You can empower your customers. You can figure out ways to empower your suppliers. All the people that you come in contact with on a regular basis. You are a network. The group calls it the big spider web, because there's this huge spider web, and you think you're the only person that's there, but you're just the person on the inside. You touch 12 people, and you say, "Oh, I only touch 12 people. It's no big deal." But those 12 people touch 12 more, and they touch 12 more, and each ring of the spider web gets bigger, and your influence and your connection can go very, very deep into this world on a beautiful basis, especially if we all focus on this empowerment. We're not accustomed to doing it. We're learning how to do it, all of us together. We're learning principles of empowerment. We want it, what the group and Steve would love to see on this planet is conscious corporations. Corporations that, well, basically what happens, let me explain that. Basically what happens when you become a corporation, because I have several of them, when you become a corporation, you become a legal entity. And you have rights and you have things that you have to do to maintain that legal entity status. And people can sue you, but they can't sue the people that own you. So it's a very popular form of government that we use, corporations, and basically how the whole thing works. Well, what happens if we start giving that permission to be a corporation, because we are the government, we are the organization that's basically giving someone permission to do that? What if when we do that, if we require that corporation to have a conscience? What if we require that corporation to not only think of a profit, but also to think of humanity and make it a legal aspect of what they do and make them demonstrate it every year in order to retain their license and their privilege of being in business? If you're going to step up to the plate and be a new human being on this planet, you have to take all these responsibilities anyway. Why don't we ask the same thing of our corporations? Why don't we ask that to happen before we have to force it to happen? That's what's taking place now. We're moving into the second wave of empowerment, which is all about discovering our own individual empowerment and how we can be individually empowered all around us and have a society that will even support that. That hasn't happened since the days of Lemuria, but it's about to happen on planet Earth. Congratulations, you are here at exactly the right time. And I know that many of you have actually timed it as souls to make sure that you're here at the right time. Well, you made it. And here we're all here to work with this and to do something else with it and to take it to the next level and apply it in our own lives in any way we can. This is the age of empowerment. We are completely moving out of the second wave of empowerment of follow the leader and no longer giving our power to other people arbitrarily to make our life better in some way. Now we take responsibility for our own lives. Now we take responsibility for our own decisions. And we also take the freedom and the empowerment that comes with that responsibility. This is going to be the norm in the future. This is going to be the energy that we all work with. Where the group is coming out with a lot of information about it, you will see a lot of information about this coming out in businesses because it's applicable right now in business and works quite well. You'll see new people coming up with all kinds of ideas in different realms around us. But it is absolutely the age of empowerment. It is the age where we focus on the individual, the beautiful soul shining through that physical body right there. Find your power. Feel how wonderful it feels. It's not force, it's power. And it's beautiful. And you deserve it. It's a part of your heritage, who you really are. The game that you've been playing on planet Earth has been playing without this empowerment. And now we're changing the game. It's real simple. We're evolving and stepping to the next level. Welcome to the second wave of empowerment. And now, of course, we're going to all take responsibility for that in different ways and whatever it is we want to do with it. But we wish you the very best with this, whatever it is you decide to do with this, however you apply this in your life. But each and every one of us is stepping into the second wave of empowerment. And it's a beautiful trip. And I'll tell you something else. There's no going back. You wouldn't if you could. Enjoy the ride, everyone. A spavo. I love you.